Hi, I've got your energy stories for the third week of September 2022. In the first one, the Biden administration announced plans last week to develop floating wind platforms for deep water applications. These could significantly expand offshore wind prospects in the United States. Two West Coast sites off California and Oregon are being considered for pilots, as is a third East Coast location in the Gulf of Maine. The government hopes to deploy up to 15 gigawatts of floating wind in addition to the previous goal of 30 megawatts of offshore fixed-bottom platforms. Floating wind is still in its infancy, but there are already some large projects out there. Last summer, Europe entered the game with 9.5 megawatt machines off the coast of Scotland, and this summer, the first 11 8.6 megawatt turbines were installed off Norway. China's in the game as well, towing its first 6.2 megawatt floater out to sea this summer. Sticking with offshore wind, construction is now underway on Rhode Island's South Key Marine Terminal on the Providence River. This will serve as a key staging area for offshore wind development in the U.S. Northeast. Phase 1 includes a 525-foot berth for offshore installation vessels and a 10-acre space for storing components. Rhode Island's not the only one with a staging site competing for business. Massachusetts has New Bedford, Connecticut is building out New London, and New York has its own hub in South Brooklyn. This industry is going to be quite sizable, and the northeastern states are gearing up to serve it. Well, the Biden administration also announced it has approved over two-thirds of the electric vehicle infrastructure deployment plan submitted by 50 states, D.C., and Puerto Rico in response to the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure NEVI formula program. These approvals free up over $900 million in NEVI formula funding from FY22 and 23 to support build-out of EV chargers across the nation's highways. In total, NEVI will make $5 billion available over 5 years for creation of this charging network. Sticking with EVs, Stellantis brand Jeep announced it will launch 4 pure electric SUVs in Europe and North America by 2025. The Wagoneer, with a planned range of 400 miles, is slated for North American markets by 2024. These vehicles may eventually charge without needing to plug in if Ohio and Pennsylvania turnpike officials have any say in the matter. The two authorities are working with experts from Utah State University on a pilot project to electrify a part of the highway near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border so the drivers can charge while they drive. The initiative will build on experiences from a 50-meter section of electrified highway on a Utah test track, as well as an electrified mile of public road in Michigan that's being built out now. Meanwhile, 160 mining trucks at BHP's northern Chile Escondida mine are going to be all electric by 2033, with the first massive Caterpillar mining trucks to be delivered next year. Oh yeah, they won't need any drivers. These are meant to be autonomous. On the hydrogen front, San Diego Gas and Electric, Southern California Gas, and Southwest Gas Corp jointly filed with the California Public Utilities Commission for approval of 3 separate $10+ million hydrogen projects. Each of these will involve blending up to 20% hydrogen into certain parts of the natural gas pipeline systems. And some will also test end-use equipment such as backup natural gas generation, ranges, radiant heaters, furnaces, boilers, and water heaters. Well, following an early executive order on the topic, the White House has released a report on the impacts of cryptocurrency, which it estimates consumes 0.9 to 1.7% of total U.S. electric supply, the equivalent of the usage from all U.S. home computers, and is responsible for 0.4 to 0.8% of all U.S. GHGs. The report recommended that federal agencies should provide technical assistance to the industry to improve efficiencies while working with various actors to create standards for responsible design, development, and use of crypto tech. The report also noted that while direct comparisons are complicated, Visa, MasterCard, and Amex used only 1% of the energy consumed by crypto mining, while supporting far more transactions. And finally, yet another indicator of the Anthropocene age into which we have entered. California Governor Newsom signed into law legislation to help the state cope with extreme heat. The legislation includes a first-ever warning system rating heat events similarly to the way we now do hurricanes. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.